I'm Richard Randall, and welcome back to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker. She is your real estate voice and the host of the program. This is the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate, and it does it with Barb Schlinker, the owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Now, Barb, home sellers planning to put their homes on the market often ask how they should prepare. So what are some important tips to drive up the sales price when they sell their Colorado home?
Well, Richard, the first tip is to make sure you don't overprice your home. I see that happen all the time. And a lot of people are kind of looking at Zillow and looking at the automated valuations and going back in time where we had a little bit higher prices last spring and expecting that. But the way to get the most money actually is to price what I call realistically versus optimistically. And most home sellers kind of assume that their home is sold as is, but there's some real small improvements that you can make that will really help drive the price up quite a bit. Like I had one home seller this past weekend that on the stairs, they had really heavy wear, years of wear on the staircases. So all they did was just spend a few $100s just to replace that carpet. And we ended up with 6 offers and it sold for way over asking price. It's just the little stuff that you do that make a huge difference. Some high cost things would be like roofs, furnaces, electrical panel. I'm not saying you have to do that. You don't have to do a full-on remodel of the kitchen. Most little updates are kind of quick and they're low cost. Number one, which really just takes a little bit of time, is decluttering. So how do you know what to do? People live in the home, they get used to seeing their surroundings, and most people don't really see the clutter for what it is. So the best thing you can do is just take your phone, take a picture of the room and blow it up on a computer, and it's going to talk right back at you and tell you, hey, I've got to declutter this room. But we'll also give you lots of guidance on that should you decide to call us. I've had a lot of people that spend a little bit of money and get a storage shed and just move out the stuff that they're planning to take with them, repurpose the rest. And especially if you've had years in the house, you just don't notice how much you're accumulating. And many times you're not going to take that with you. So this is the time to make that decision. And when you do it room by room by room. One of the things that I tend to do, which would be my mistake, is I'll start working on it and might have 2 or 3 rooms going at the same time, and really nothing gets finished. So you're better off focusing on the key rooms, which would be living room, kitchen, master bathroom, and master bedroom. Those rooms are really important to make sure they're decluttered and look great. And it's much more austere. In fact, a lot of times the people will tell me after they're done with their decluttering that they're like, well, it just doesn't look right. We don't live like this. I've got my toaster in my car, but it's okay. It shows much better like that. And it's only for a short while we get the pictures that you have to do this. Another very easy tip that's relatively inexpensive is to neutralize any dramatic paint. Now, paint colors, color styles in general, change every few years. Nobody can really keep up with all the trends. It's just not realistic, especially with things like the color trends of flooring or the color trends of cabinets. But paint is relatively inexpensive. So I had one client once, Richard, they were a big Broncos fan. They had this big soaring wall in their great room that was painted Bronco orange. Could you imagine that?
It's great for a Broncos fan, but the next owner may not be a football fan at all, or even a Broncos fan that doesn't want something like that dominating their house. Holy cow.
It was just too much. And they grumbled at me a bit when I said, you have to neutralize that accent wall. But it made a difference. Their home sold right away, top dollar, because when you take pictures of dramatic paint like that, it gets even more vibrant and bright on a phone or on a computer screen. And it could just be that's just enough to make a buyer move on and not pick that house. We had one over on the west side. We actually had 2 at the same time last summer, very similar in size and price. One of them sold for a bidding more, very nice and neutral. The other one, they had, I think it was a purple accent wall and a turquoise colored accent wall in the main rooms, and it wasn't selling. Finally, my partner said, "What are we doing wrong?" I'm like, "It's just paint. Get that taken care of. It costs less than $1,000 to hire a contractor to come in and take care of it, or you could do it yourself. Painting's not that hard." And right away, boom, sold for full price. So sometimes it's just little things. The color trends right now for paint color, we're getting away from the gray. Thank you very much. I'm not a gray fan, but we're moving into more of what they call a grayish or a cream color. So again, neutral palette, and you accent with wood and furniture, but not with your wall paint. And if you have a kid's bedroom that has, pink or blue, it's okay. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to paint that one bedroom, but the major rooms you got to focus on, which would be living room, kitchen, and master bedroom. Also, any tile flooring, or I'm sorry, let me say that again. Flooring's a big deal. So if your flooring is what I call tired, what does that mean? Like if carpet has obvious, easy to see traffic areas, a big no-no that a lot of builders put in these production homes back in the 90s is they put carpet in the master bathroom. And they did it to save money. It was cheaper to lay carpet down than to put down some kind of vinyl or tile flooring. But actually, for a very small amount of money, you can actually lay down some inexpensive wide plank vinyl, luxury vinyl flooring that looks fabulous. I had just had one client do it. She had carpet in her master bath, and she went to the flooring company and said, "Hey, do you have any remnants?" So they had these big wide, probably 8-inch wide and about 12-inch long planks that she had them installed that were very neutral. It looked beautiful, had a bidding war on that house, and it sold for $50,000 over asking price. I had another seller that had the 80s design overall. So remember when pink and green were in style in the 80s, Richard? Remember that?
Miami Vice.
I'm kind of glad that trend came and went really fast.
Yes.
But there were some people that still have those decorative colors in their homes, including going all in with their bathroom sink being that colored. But this particular house had mauve colored carpet throughout the home. And then some of their sinks were actually shell shaped that were pink. And so we could fix that for a very low price. We got new carpet that was nice and neutral. And then we brought in this company that actually puts a coating over the sink and makes it look fresh and clean and white. And then the non-obvious repairs need to be dealt with. That's probably why we include our certified pre-owned home program. We actually also include a roof certificate. We'll have somebody come out and look at your furnace. We'll have somebody come out and look at your roof and make sure it's good. I do recommend that you have your service cleaned and serviced. And I would also check your sewer septic line and make sure those are in good working order, because they will be scrutinized once you go under contract. We don't normally photograph the insides of closets or the insides of garages. However, for sure, when the buyers come through your home, they're going to look at those spaces because they want to know the sizes. So the best guidance we can give you in dealing with those spaces is just tidy it up. Especially with garages. It's okay to stack boxes in your garage, but make sure there's enough space to see the size of the garage. Same thing on closets. On the master closet, get everything off the floor, pack away the clothes that you're not going to use right now, or the shoes that you haven't worn for 2 years. Just go ahead and pack those away or donate them. Another low-cost update that you can do is light fixtures. Actually, many light fixtures are not very expensive. The gold finishes, of course, are out of style. Hollywood bath fixtures, they're okay depending on the color, but the gold ones are kind of out of style. And then we actually give you a whole written staging tips on what to do and what not to do to get your house ready for sale. My name is Barb Schlinker. I'm with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And we're talking about fix-ups that you can do to give you the competitive edge. We're going to talk about some top selling mistakes when you sell your home. Richard?
You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And if you're interested in selling, call Barb at 719-301-3900. We're talking, Barb, about 27 tips to drive up the sales price of your Colorado home. So what are some other home repairs that can yield a pretty good return on that investment?
Well, definitely a deep cleaning. That doesn't cost very much. It's very much worth your while to take care of that. A lot of people ask me about cleaning the windows. Unless it's obvious, don't worry about it. It's going to rain again. They're going to get dirty. It's not a huge deal for people unless it's super, super obvious. Declutter is very, very important. Discard furniture that you're not using that overwhelms the room, and curb appeal absolutely is critical. So make sure you freshen up those mulch beds, give those bushes a haircut, paint the front door, update the broken doorbell. Just some of those little things can go a long way in getting buyers in the door and getting top dollar when you sell. Richard?
You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And if you are thinking of making a move, call Barb at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. Or if you want a free report on those 27 tips to sell your home fast and for the most money, just go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Go to the free report section. You'll be taken care of there. When we come back, we'll be talking about how to sell your home for more money in less time, plus Barb's hot new listings up and down the Front Range. Stay tuned for that.